when to buy a talisman versus when to do something else. Now, I'm going to say something that may sound counterintuitive to somebody who does sell talismans, and that is vehemently believing not everybody should be solving their problem with astrological talisman. Sometimes a talisman is not the right tool. And if there is a better approach, a better form of astrological remediation that is more suited to the issue at hand, then you're using the talisman to avoid the real work that needs to get done. Or it's just going to be a band-aid to a longer running problem. And we'd like to provide permanent solution. A talisman is quite excellent for those who have already done a baseline level of mundane groundwork. Someone who has already gone from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2 and needs that help going from 2 to 20,000. If your business is struggling and if you haven't fixed your operations, your offer, the product or service that you sell, a Jupiter or Sun talisman will not be changing that overnight. It may help opportunities find you, but if your foundation isn't at a baseline already, it's like pouring water into a bucket with holes at the bottom. You'll be unable to capture the full extent of the benefit it could provide. A talisman is quite appropriate, though, when you are put up against forces that are way beyond your control. Legal outcomes, reputation in the eyes of others, receiving a jolt of motivation to tackle a big project, and even the presence of your magnetism. Really, any situation where strategic action and thinking alone isn't the key determinant in the success of your endeavor. Talismans can be quite effective when there are gaps that the celestial forces can insert themselves in to raise the overall quality or magnitude of your result. Ultimately, a talisman may not be the best tool if discipline is the primary solution. If you need to practice more, train more, get better at your craft, attempt to do that first. Are you able to get traction? What is preventing you from doing that? Critically analyze this before using a talisman to solve the problem. That Mars talisman I made was during the pandemic because the company I was running was part of a severe legal dispute. I had already talked to the lawyer, drafted the documents, and had initial conversations with our negotiating party. But I needed that extra oomph, understanding, and expertise to make sure I wasn't leaving anything out so we could have a beneficial result for all parties involved. In this scenario, I wasn't using the talisman as a shortcut or method of cheap success. I was using it to shore up any deficiencies and fill in any missing pieces. And to certain people, this point is also very controversial. A talisman is not appropriate if you're using it to avoid growth. I see this way too often. People are buying talisman after talisman, thinking it's going to magically transform their lives and make them feel truly happy or fulfilled, but the issue is actually something much, much deeper. It's these scenarios I find most common that the talismans and the celestial spirits end up running these people's lives for them. Thus, these talismans really become more of a distraction or avoidance mechanism rather than that powerful ally or that tool that allows us to accomplish the goal that we are striving and setting out to do in the world. I am a very results-oriented individual, so this is how I enjoy approaching talismans.